Yeah, they're
They're popping on, huh?
they're finding their way in. Hello, you're all coming in with your cameras off. You can do whatever you want with them. Keep yourself muted for the time being, if you don't mind. And the recording is now running, so we are recording. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous edition of Lunch with Len. And you notice I didn't say Lunch with Len and Laura, and I'm going to just let those of you who are regulars just sort of know that Laura has officially backed out just because of her personal schedule with her kids at school. The timing just doesn't work for her, so it's no longer Lunch with Len and Laura. It's just Lunch with Len. Um, and today we have a very special guest. As you know, we have Lisa Reed with us. Lisa, you're in L3, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Lisa's an L3 in MLSP. She's also the member of the month. She's the co-founder of the of Facebook Marketing Academy. I mean, she is an absolute rock star. She's blasting her way to the top. She's on the leaderboards, the 60-day or the 30-day and the 90-day leaderboards right now. You can go out there and look at them. And the amazing thing about Lisa is that she's a relatively recent arrival on the scene. You've only been in MLSP since 2016, just a
Yes.
little over a year. So, I mean, that's my hat's off to you. Congratulations. That is just beyond awesome.
Thank you.
What brought you, how did you do it? What brought you to network marketing? And let me see if I can get the speaker view to work. We should, yeah, there you are.
All right. So, what brought me to network marketing? I heard about a product, and and what it did, and that interested me. So, I went in search of that product, and I Googled it and found it on Amazon and bought it 3 times before I realized it was a network marketing company. And so then I joined that company because I love the product and did the whole warm market, family, friends, my list of 100 people. Had okay success, and then I had a health issue that hit me pretty hard, and so I had to take some time off. And when I came back, I didn't have much of a business, and I'd already gone through all of my warm market, so I turned to online marketing.
Right. You said you initially started in a different online company than everybody. I mean, you're L3 and MLSP. I mean, we already said it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're not
Yeah.
doing anything here.
Okay.
You started with a different company and then you found MLSP.
I did. The first company I found was not MLSP, and I joined the other one, and I don't know, it just wasn't me. So I thankfully found the 10-day trial for MLSP and thought, okay, I'm going to come in on the 10-day trial, and I'm just going to learn everything I can in 10 days, and then I'm going to leave. And I'm still here. I don't know if I'm ever going to leave.
There's a lot of us that probably will never leave. And, you probably went through the same thing. Oh, can I afford this $150 a month? Am I really going to get value out of it? But, my own personal opinion, I used to own a brick and mortar business. I owned a flight school, and I paid more than $150 a month just for something that did part of what the CRM does, but not all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I had hundreds of applications, and I had to keep track of all these silly students and what they wanted. And I mean, so the value to me is there. It's just incredible value.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a part-time fitness instructor, and I teach like 4 different formats, and I have to spend $30 to $50 a month to maintain my licensing in those formats. So yeah, when you look at that price, you think, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But when you break it down and compare it to other things in life, it's really nothing, and the value is just so incredible.
No, I agree. So I was just going to ask you about being a fitness instructor. You say you have 3 different formats. What do you do?
So I'm a Zumba instructor. I started with Zumba, but I also teach a hip hop dance fitness class and PIO and body sculpt. I kind of teach everything now.
Where are you physically located?
I am in Redding, California. So it's
really?
way north California. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit long for me to drive for the Zumba class.
Yeah, we're up there, but we love it here. We have a boat on Lake Shasta, and so we really like it here. Yeah.
I've hung around Redding. I've actually summited, and I didn't quite summit. I've been up Mount Shasta, up on the glaciers.
Uh-huh.
I used to do some climbing.
Oh, okay.
one of the places I've been is Shasta. We were doing the 4,000 or 8,000 foot or 14,000 foot peaks,
Mm.
and that was one of them I was on. I didn't make it to the top. I had some altitude sickness. But
Yeah, it's a tough one, I guess. Our son did that last summer, and his one of his friends made it to the top, but not everybody did.
yeah,
That last bit, I guess, really gets you.
the last little bit is pretty
Hmm.
rough if you don't spend enough time on the mountain back,
Yeah,
acclimatize yourself to the altitude. It really gets you at the near the end.
yeah,
But it's a beautiful area. I love that area up there. So
yeah.
I'm a little bit south of you. I'm down just south of San Diego. I'm
Oh, okay.
actually physically in Mexico.
Oh, really? Okay,
So
nice.
you're also, I mean, you're all. Tell us about your journey. You're also doing the Facebook Marketing Academy, and you developed this whole new strategy um, with. I'll be quiet. You developed a whole new strategy with challenges.
Yeah. So I went L0 to L3 in 5 months doing these challenge groups. We started these. I want to say we did the first one either the end of January or beginning of February, but that one was terrible. It was awful. It bombed. It was we did way too much. So we've refined and we continue to refine. So we do a free 5-day challenge. And that is, we kind of look at that as our lead magnet, to bring people in to us. And then that 5 days, we look at it as we're building a relationship with those people, we're building rapport. So we spend 5 days with them every day going live inside of a private group and just sharing some type of value. We've kind of changed what we do. We've done video challenges. We've done, I don't know, we've done other kinds of challenges too. But whatever it is that we're sharing with them, we're sharing with them every day, so they see us every day to help build that relationship and that authority. And then I think this is probably one of the important parts is we make them implement something. We make them take action on something, because the only way, we know the only way they're going to get any results is if they actually do it. I mean, learning something isn't enough. So we do that 5-day challenge with them, and if we get them enough wins and successes, they love us at the end of 5 days. So it's kind of nice. And then we lead into the 10-day trial of MLSP. And we just keep doing that kind of over and over and over again. And one of the things, one of the problems we experienced at first when we were bringing people into MLSP was a little bit of overwhelm, right? Because there's so much training back there. It's all great, but if you don't have like a starting point, I think we were noticing that people were overwhelmed and got frustrated and they just quit. So we're helping guide them through certain trainings that based on what they want, based on where they're at, what they want for their business. So we're taking them through a 10-day roadmap that's designed specifically for them, if that makes sense.
Individualized?
Mm-hmm.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the. I think you're right. I mean, the people that I'm like 1 point away from L2, so I brought a few people into MLS.
Yeah.
And, the ones that stick are the ones that during that 10-day trial, you really got to hold their hand and take them through. Otherwise, there's just
Yeah.
way too much.
Yeah.
Lost, and they get lost in the shiny object syndrome.
Exactly. There's just so much, and then there's the weekly webinar that's coming up that's got another hot strategy, and Tuesday hangout. Yeah, they just get lost. So if we can keep them, and we get people that come in that still go off on their own and they get lost, um, chasing that shiny object. But if we can keep them on track, if we have somebody that we can keep on track, we usually end up, the retention is usually pretty high.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I find a lot of people, there's also a lot of, I mean, there are a lot of the marketers that I don't want to use the word hype because it's not the right word, but they have results, and it sounds like if you just do their strategy, you're going to get these instantaneous results overnight, just like they got. And you didn't hear the backstory that they spent 10 years getting to the point where they implemented that strategy.
Right, right. Like I went L0 to L3 in 5 months, but I spent an entire year trying to figure out how to get there.
Exactly my point. There's a
Yeah.
backstory. And so,
Yeah.
if we say, well, just look at what Lisa Reed did. I mean, you can do this in two. You can go L0 to L3. And yeah, is it possible? Probably not if you don't have Lisa Reed's backstory, her experience.
Yeah, we talked to, because I think one of the reasons this works for us is we've gotten really clear on who our target market is. And we did that by talking to hundreds of people, right, in that year. Just talking to lots of people and having those conversations with them and trial and error, trying things and finding things that worked and finding things that didn't work.
So what else can you tell? I mean, what you've got a family too, huh? You got kids at home?
We're empty nesters. All our kids are older. Our youngest is 31, so we have 4 adult children and four
Lisa,
grandchildren.
Lisa, you look like you're 20 years old.
I know. No, thank you.
You have a 31-year-old?
Yes. I know. I try not to think about that. You know what's even scarier is we have a 22-year-old grandson.
Well, I'm absolutely shocked. I thought you were like a really. I just thought you were younger than that.
Well, thank you.
You've got such a young face, and you just look like you're in your 20s. Oh, maybe your 30s, but yeah, you can't have a 30-year-old and still be in your 30s. I don't think.
No. Not in my 30s.
Well, my kids are old. If it's any consolation, my kids are older than your kids, by more than I care to admit to.
Yeah.
So what do they do? The kids are they following their mom into network marketing, or are they off?
No. But two of them are entrepreneurs. Two of them are kind of doing their own thing. We have a one that's a high risk labor and delivery nurse, one that is a professor at the University of Wisconsin in Madison,
Wow.
a software engineer who lives in the Bay Area. And then our youngest is in Portland, and she's a board certified behaviorist. So she works with autistic children. That's her passion.
So there's
So,
4.
yeah.
That is awesome. So
Yeah.
what's your background? What did you do before you got into network marketing?
I was in healthcare for a long time, but I've also kind of always been an entrepreneur. Like my husband, he has his own business, and I worked that business with him when he started it. Did the bookkeeping and payroll and all that fun stuff. I don't like that stuff. And before that, I was in a family business with my parents and my siblings. We all owned a resort, so I've kind of, my dad had his own businesses forever. And that's kind of the way he raised us, is that you never want to work for anybody else. You want to be your own boss. So, but nobody had ever done network marketing in my family. Nobody had ever done this. So that was a little different.
Pushback from them?
A little bit, yeah. A lot of that, I think a lot of them were surprised that that's what I did.
They're probably equally surprised that you're doing so well.
I think now, yeah. Yeah. My parents are very big supporters. They jump on my lives, and so that's kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, you folks out there in the studio audience, do you have any questions you'd like to bounce off Lisa while we have her here for a little bit? Don't all talk at once. No, Chris, Deb. So for people that are starting out, or people that maybe have been struggling for a little while with this business, what would you tell them? What kind of advice can you give people?
Well, I think the thing that I was just asked this the other day, what was your aha moment? What was your breakthrough? And I'm not even sure I've had that yet. I think maybe it's coming, but I think the one thing to really focus on, that somebody said to me, is that you just need to show up every day in your business. And I know sometimes that's hard. There's personal things that happen, there's other things that happen, but I think it's important to show up every day in your business and to do the stuff, share that value without any expectation of getting anything in return. I think that is it. Eventually it pays off. It doesn't feel like it while you're doing it, but I think it eventually pays off. And so the other thing I recommend everybody do is video. I think video has been key in helping us grow our business. It's the best way to build rapport. It's the best way for people to get to know you. So I think video is super, super important.
You mentioned target audience. And I think, if I were to reflect back on my last several years, and if somebody were to hit me with a question, Len, you've been doing this for several years, how come you're only L2? And my answer to that question, and looking at the whole thing right now, is that I didn't really spend the time to define correctly and adequately my target market at the beginning. I spread myself way too thin. I got some stuff over here and stuff over there. And any comments about that? Because you mentioned that earlier, that the target market was an issue for you.
Yeah, and I spent a good, 10 months probably, all over the place too, feeling like I needed to be everywhere. Like I needed to be on Twitter, I needed to be on Instagram, I needed to do this, I needed to do that. And it was in the fall, I think, of last year, or fall or winter, where I just said, okay, I am just going to be laser focused on Facebook. And I think we have a tendency to, with our network marketing and, whatever it is we're doing, we have a tendency to think that we have this great product, which, we all do. There's lots of great products out there, but that we think it's for everyone. And it may be for everyone, but when you're creating that post or when you're creating that video, you need to find the one person to talk to. And so with that, I think it's as important to know, for me, their age is really important. I hate to say that, and I don't know how to say it without it sounding bad. But for us, for me, I'm an empty nester. So the vocabulary I would use, the things that are important to me, the struggles that I have, let's say with health and wellness, are going to be different than a mom with kids at home. She's going to use different vocabulary. Her struggles are going to be different. Her wants and desires are different, right? Maybe she's trying to figure out how to put her kids through college. We've already done that. So our struggles are different. We're trying to figure out how we're going to have enough money to retire, right? So I think it's really important. You can market to a lot of people, but while you're creating that one video or that social media post, I think it's really important that you speak to that one person, because then you can use their vocabulary, and then you can pick out that pain point for them. Then the next time, you can be speaking to the empty nester. But I think coming to that realization made a huge difference in figuring out who our target market was. So it's not so much who our target market is how we speak to them when we're doing that message. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Refining the message. It's often been said that you need to write the blog post or the email or the video like you're speaking. You have Uncle Harry in mind. You're talking to one person.
And people have said that to me for since I started this, but I don't think it really hit until until the end of last year.
I have a question, Lynn.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. I saw you unmuted.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
We all know that we need to start with a plan, and it needs to be written down, and we need to follow it as close as we can. Do you have a specific DMO that you do every day?
I do, and it's changed a little bit recently, but yeah, I do. So I basically try to connect with 10 new people every day. I try to start 10 new conversations. I try to go back and follow up with 5 to 10 people that I talked to in the past. I'd have to, let's see what else. I create some kind of content. And for me, I'm really focused on Facebook Lives. I try to do a Facebook Live every day, so I consider that my content. I do have a blog, but I haven't really been blogging for a long time now. But I do a video every day. And I have an email list, but I do not write to my email list every day. I write to them a couple times a week, and I'll send them like a Facebook Live or something of value. So, but those are the big things for me. It was about building my audience in the beginning, or it still is. So it's about making those new connections and talking to people every day. I think that that's probably the number one thing that I do every day, and then my Facebook Lives.
So you're starting between 5 and 10 new conversations. Where are you finding the people? In Facebook groups?
Mostly in Facebook groups, yeah. Yeah, because I'm focused on Facebook, so yeah, that's where I find them. And it's kind of interesting because I do feel like I feel like it's changing for them. Like when I first started doing this, people in most network marketers and direct sales, they didn't really want anything to do with attraction marketing. They wanted to just spam their products. But I feel like that whole mindset is changing a bit because I get a lot of people now that go, I'm brand new and I want to do it right. I don't want to do it like my upline. So I feel like there's more people out there that are open to this now than there were like a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I assume you know who Jelena is.
Yes. Yeah.
She just did a live today that was really fascinating, but it was on exactly that topic, and why so many network marketing companies and uplines are trying to tell you just go ahead and spam your link out there. Everyone's going to love it, and why that's the wrong thing to do, and why you need to brand yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all heard it a million times. I mean, that message, yeah, I think you're right. That message is getting out there. So many people are repeating it now and hearing the message. And of course, for many of us, our network marketing company tells us to just splash your link all over the place. Tell everybody you're with you're the ABC company. Nice free advertising for them.
Yeah.
How long do you make your lives?
I keep them there. I would say the average is around 5 minutes. We tell people anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes. I think that, and if it's okay, there's been a big change, I think, in how we do Facebook Lives. When everybody started with Facebook Lives, we kind of started with that, and I think this came from Periscope. We're going to wait for people to jump on. We started by talking about ourselves. Now everything is so short. Everybody's in such a hurry that we tell people you've got to start your Facebook Live right off the bat, and you want to start with that hook. So you're not waiting for people. You're not even introducing yourself right away. You're starting with, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, with a big caption, something like that, that's going to stop people in their scroll. And then it's a real quick introduction, and it's get right to the point. Because there's so many people are doing lives now. I mean, everybody's doing them, right? So people are scrolling like crazy, and you have to capture them and work a little harder in the beginning, I think, to get people to stop. Because there's just so much.
So are you doing your lives on your fan page or on your personal profile?
I've moved over to my business page, which has been a very real struggle for me because I don't have nearly the engagement, although I'm getting more and more. But I do believe that that is, that has always been my end goal, or my goal was to get everything over to my business page because there's so much more you can do over there with it. So I made the transition about 3 weeks ago to fully be on my business page. So
I agree with you too about the lives. And, in the beginning, we were all doing the same thing. We're sitting there waiting 2 or 3 minutes. And I did a bunch of lives, and, they were 12 minutes long. The first 3 minutes were waiting for people to come on. And then I went back and I looked at them and I asked myself the single question: would you watch your video, Len? And the answer was no. I'm going to sit every 3 minutes watching you tell me you're waiting for people to get on. I mean, that's forever.
Right?
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know why we started like that. The only thing I don't know why how we started like that, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
some quote expert told us to.
Well, yeah, I mean, and in the beginning,
told us to do it.
In the beginning, it was a novelty, and so people were just sort of playing with the whole concept. But now it's not a novelty, and we've probably all heard this, but there was a recent study that this is actually a real study that determined that people right now have attention spans less than goldfish.
Right.
The average attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds, and the average human is 8 seconds. They're and
8 seconds.
then,
Yeah.
so you got like you're lucky if you can't get.
It is.
You got 8 seconds maybe, and realistically more like maybe 3 to 5 seconds to get attention, and they've just scrolled past you. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you got to keep them. You got to keep them entertained. You got to keep them enthralled. So you got to be delivering. I feel like we have to be at a faster pace and delivering better stuff to get people to stay. But the other thing too that happens now is that the majority of everyone's views, no matter who you are, the majority of your views come after the fact, after you're live.
Yeah. And
so one of the things that we started doing a few weeks ago is we started talking to those people in our lives. And so hey, watching the replay, drop play down low so I can come back and say hi to you. Or so we started to use them in our gauge, the people that watch a little bit later, and that's really helped too.
So the audio just started
a little bit longer on your video.
Yeah, I'm getting a message that your bandwidth is low, and the audio just started to break up a little bit. Are you still there, Lisa?
I'm here. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your video is closed, but the audio is breaking up a bit. We'll see. Is anybody else having trouble with the audio, or just me? No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm seeing a message that says the bandwidth is low. Hey, we're going to wrap up in the next few minutes anyhow, but I don't want to wrap up and have us lose the connection. But I really appreciate you being here today. Now, as I understand, you tell me, can anybody get into one of your challenge groups, or are you? How does somebody get into the challenge, or is that, if that's of interest to anybody? How do we find you? And tell people how to find you.
Okay, well, I am Lisa M. Reed Online. That's my business page. So facebook.com, Lisa M. Reed Online. We're struggling with how to incorporate people already in MLSP into our challenges, because I know people want to do that, but we're trying to keep, we get people, like if we're doing a video challenge, we're getting people in there that have never been on video before. So they're super, self-conscious. And one of the things that we're promising them is they're going to be in a private group, right, where it's a safe environment. So we're reluctant to add MLSP people in because we don't want to change, we want to keep the integrity of that group. So, and then our other challenge is all about getting people into MLSP. So, but we're trying to figure out how to do something for people in MLSP so they can see more of what we're doing. So it's something we're working on right now to figure out how to incorporate everyone.
To be perfectly open and honest with you, so that I don't play games at all. I actually was looking to try to see if I could get into your challenge just so I could spy on you. Because I'd like to, I'm really fascinated by the whole concept. I want to do it, and but I'm not quite sure. I mean, I want to do it, and I want to do it without repeating all the mistakes that you've already made. So there's no reason for me to make mistakes. I'm my own mistakes. I don't need to,
I just got to actually watch your webinar last night that you did a couple of weeks ago. I'm a mom of 8, so trying to, fit things in. I played it in fast speed so I could kind of try to squeeze in more in my day. But I'm really interested too. I actually based on seeing a couple things, started my own challenge. I only have a couple people in there, but I figure it's a start. Whether they're showing up every day, I'm showing up every day, just to kind of get the ball rolling and keep my word on that. So I guess better tips on being able to invite, because I invited several people, and they kind of had interest and then didn't kind of get back to me on joining, and just wanted some tips on what was the best way, what were some of the great ways that worked for you, inviting people or getting them in, or and maybe even just like giveaways or hooks that seem to help with that?
Yeah, so it's really interesting, right? You're doing a free challenge and people are hesitant, huh? And that's what we experienced too in the beginning. It's like, this is free. Why are you hesitating? But you have to build up that reputation, I think. And so I'm not even sure the first challenge, I'm pretty sure we had less than 10 people in our first challenge. So it's definitely something that's grown. But I will tell you what we did in the beginning is we actually gave away bonuses for joining our free challenge, which is silly now when you think about it. And we don't do that anymore. They get something inside the challenge, but we don't give a bonus for joining. But so we did something like, I want to say we did a 25 video topics swipe file. And I think we actually got the idea from Mark Harbert's YouTube training. I think he might have a topic file in there. I think that's how we got the idea. What else did we give away in the beginning? That was probably the biggest thing, because like we were doing, I think our first one was a video challenge, and so the big thing is, what do we talk about, right, with video? So I think that was probably the big thing. But I don't know that it made a difference. We still struggled with getting a lot of people. And then I did a webinar every Sunday for the first 5 months. I did a webinar every Sunday to get people in. And it also seems silly to go to that much trouble to get people into a free challenge, but it was, the only way I could get the word out there a lot. So one thing I will tell you that we do now when we're inviting, so sometimes we're doing lives, we're doing social media posts like in groups, and sometimes we'll actually tell people what it is, but sometimes we get people in there by not telling them what it is. So instead, telling them maybe something they'll learn. Like, you want to know how you can get more leads with your social media post or something, you know what I mean? So we don't tell them I'm doing a free challenge. We kind of tell them what they're going to learn and comment below if you want more information. And then we tell them we're doing the challenge. So we get more people that'll actually reach out that way.
Interesting.
Does that help?
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself out because I have kids in the background, and I have some grown and kind of out of the house, but I still have some at home. So I'm muted so everybody can hear you. But thank you. That kind of gives me a little bit more. But I joined somebody else's challenge just to kind of see what they were doing for the 5 days, and participated there, and they led into the MLSP challenge, which I'm already there, so I didn't join their next challenge, but it really inspired me and gave me some good ideas on getting my own started. So now it's more about getting, I guess, more, being able to help more people, or help them realize that there are other ways to do things, and
right,
an easier way necessarily than spamming or running around yelling or splashing your page with your link and your products all the time. So
yeah, a less resistant way, huh? The other thing we did too is we allowed challengers to invite people, and that's really helpful. Say, invite your friends, invite your teammates. If you know anybody else, invite.
And I did mention that to people. It's like, hey, you don't have to come do it by yourself. Come, bring somebody that, you'd like to do it with. So
yeah. So it takes time. You're building a reputation. You're building that, but it get bigger and bigger, which is good. You just got to start. And I'll tell you, we still, to this day, we do a lot of research. So like if we're doing a video challenge, we're listening to podcasts about video. We're listening, finding other challenges outside of MLSP to see what other people are doing so we can get new, fresh ideas. So our challenges are constantly evolving because we're trying to find new stuff to share, keep it fresh. So it's a process. It's a continual, but it's fun. It's, it's good. So.
Deborah, just go ahead and unmute yourself. And Unless you want permission to go potty.
No, I don't need to go potty. But I was going to ask, was it Angela? What is your group? Join you.
Oh, sure. Well, I only have I have a couple people in there, but it's Go Live for 5 challenge is what I called it.
Oops. Wait, I got to find a pen that works.
Okay.
It's called
Go Live for 5 challenge.
All right. Well, Deb, you can connect with Angela.
Yeah, we can connect on that for sure.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. That's all I wanted to ask.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. It's been a real pleasure having you here. Thank you for coming. Does anybody else have any final questions they want to throw out? We'll let Lisa go here. What's your time look like, Lisa? Are you up against the deadline, or you got maybe
No, I'm good.
another minute or two? Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody else have anything they want to ask, or should we let Lisa go?
I just wanted to thank Lisa for coming today. It was excellent, and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, this is a marvelous idea. And Lisa, your comment about it seems like you do a lot of work for a free challenge. You're giving something away. You're doing webinars every Sunday. But the reality is that the carrot at the end of the stick is that you're building your L3. You got there in how many months?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the carrot at the end of the stick. That's like in all of this business. I mean, this business is a business of working for free for a long time till you get to where you're trying to get to. So
Yeah.
we just don't have to recognize that. Yeah. If you're going to be in network marketing, you're going to spend some time working for free.
Right.
Just the way it is.
That's true.
The carrot at the end of the stick is that you're going to get a lot of money and not do much work someday, hopefully, huh?
That's the idea. Yes.
The residual income concept. So,
Well, thank you very much, Lisa, for all your tips and just being open with us and sharing.
yeah, that was amazing. And if you find a way to open up to people that are already in MLSP, I'd love to join one of your challenges. Like I said, I want to spy on you. But so, I mean, let's be honest about it. I'm spying on you. But it would be anyhow.
Yeah. We've thought about just
Professional
running.
worker.
Yeah, we've thought about just running a side-by-side challenge. One has MLSP people, one have the other. So we're still trying to work out the logistics of it, but we're trying to accommodate because they're. But if I let everybody in MLSP in that wants to come in, it's all MLSP.
Well, there's got to be something in it for you. I mean, what's there for you?
So I want to help and I want to share it with you guys. I just got to figure out a way to do that and not compromise my group that's already going. So
of course, and your funnel is to build MLSP. So not
Right.
let MLSP people come in, because the other thing is that sooner or later I don't know, it won't get saturated.
people will stop.
You can probably train everybody in MLSP how to do these, and you'll still be lucky if you can count on one hand the number of people that actually do it. So
Right. Or that will continue to do it because it's continuous work. We're promoting all the time. We're always promoting something. So it's a lot of work. But like you said, it's work that pays off in the end if you do it. So
awesome.
well, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate
Love
it.
it.
That's been fun.
There
Thank
will
you.
be a replay if I don't screw it up. The replay will be available. It takes a couple hours for me to get it processed and get it up, but it will be available. When it is, I'll send you a link.
Okay.
And everybody else, Chris, Angela, Deborah, I saw Bill out there. Thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate it. And
All right.
let's have a
Thank
wonderful-
you. Bye.
I'm going to end the recording. Here we go.